Hi, this is Holly Carmichael. I just wanted to take a minute and go through mastering chemistry so that you have an understanding of what you need to make sure you get done each week and when. So first off, notice that mastering chemistry is worth 12.5% of your grade. There's two types of assignments. You have a post-lecture homework for each chapter, and then you have topic assignments called dynamic study modules that are scattered throughout the semester depending on what the chapter is about. At the end of the semester, if the overall average for all these assignments is an 80% or higher, I will give you full credit for that 12.5%. So I'll just change your grade up to 100. Just know that going in. So rolling down, here's about mastering chemistry. So this is you're going to access this in Moodle. There is a link, it just says mastering chemistry assignments. There's a link for you to access them. There's like I said, two different types. You have the dynamic study modules. These are modules that are about topics that might be in specific chapters. You have to answer questions, multiple choice types of questions. You answer them multiple times. They have done studies that show if you answer questions over the same topic at least 3 times correctly, then that shows that you actually have understanding of that topic. Do not guess when you do these. Take your time. When you get done, you'll actually answer questions like 8 multiple choice questions in a row, and then it goes back and explains to you why you got wrong, the questions you got wrong. Make sure that you take the time to review that so that you don't continue to get things wrong, because that'll just take forever. These are going to be due on Sunday nights, okay? So this would really be the Sunday after the topic was assigned the week before. Okay, so like that Sunday, you'll have an assignment due. Second one are the post-lecture homeworks. So post-lecture homeworks, these are questions over an entire chapter. You get a couple chances to answer these ones. There's, I think, 3 chances for each one to answer them. So like if you think you know the answer and you get it wrong, then go back and really look at what you put down. Was there a unit issue? Did you not put units when you should have? Was there not significant figures? Those types of things. When you go through to answer these, if you get it wrong a second time, then you really want to make sure that you go back into the chapter and find the answer before you answer it a third time. Okay? There is connected with the post-lecture homeworks a optional assignment, which is called the adaptive follow-up. I will show you these in mastering. The adaptive follow-up will come up and ask you if you want to complete this if you get less than a 95 on the post-lecture homework assignment. So for example, you finished chapter 1 and you got an 80 on the post-lecture homework assignment, which is not a problem, right? Don't like freak out about that. It'll be okay. But it'll come up and say, would you like to do the adaptive follow-up? The adaptive follow-up will ask you a set of questions that is entirely about the questions that you missed in the post-lecture homework for chapter 1. So in fact, I find those adaptives are actually really helpful to go back over material that maybe you're a little unsure about. It's not going to ask you questions about stuff you knew in the post-lecture homework. It's only going to be questions you missed or topics that you missed in the post-lecture homework. These can add 3 points to your post-lecture homework grade. So sometimes students, especially if they get less than a 95 on their post-lecture homework, they'll do this as a way of bumping that grade up. Those adaptive follow-ups are not required, but they might actually help you understand something that you missed that caused your post-lecture homework not to be as high as it was. Now, these are going to be due on Thursdays, okay? So Thursdays at 11:59, and again, these are going to be due after this chapter has been completed and assigned, and I'll just go ahead and show you these now. So if we jump to mastering, so in mastering chemistry, right now you have a mastering chemistry materials and tutorials section. It's like a module in Moodle that you'll see, like if I close everything, right? So we're all the way up at the very top for this online class. If you come down, there's Week 1, the name, tent, and proctor track. Well, this one, the Mastering Chemistry Materials and Tutorials, This is this overview video. Here's the assignment link. Here's the e-text link. Here's your scores when you start getting finished. Here's the purchase options if you decide you want to buy the loose leaf of the textbook. If you run into problems, there's a link for web browser checking. And then also up here, if you run into problems with mastering, customer success at pearson.com is another link that you can use just to try and figure out why you're having problems with it. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I put a couple of tutorials in that I did over chapter 3 and chapter 4, and those are specifically over what they call the chem draw questions, where you have to draw molecules and make bonds, and that's done in chapters 3 and 4. So if you get stuck on those, you can watch those. Those are only about 10 minutes long. They're pretty short, but they'll help you if you kind of get stuck. So clicking this link is going to take you here. There's 2 ways that you can look at this. I like the what they call the calendar view. So this is the calendar view. Over here would be the list view. So you can toggle back and forth. I like the calendar view because it shows you on a calendar when things are due. Things to remember. You do not have to do the assignment on the day that it's due. You can always do the assignment before. These assignments are open now. All of the assignments for the semester are open now. I set all of them to open on August the 15th. So don't feel like, oh, I gotta wait until the 20th of August to do this assignment. You can do it. And in fact, I encourage you to do it early. Once you cover the topic in the chapter, go ahead and do that dynamic study module, because that's going to help. It'll be fresh in your head and it's going to help you get through it easier. Okay, but notice that I have Sunday dynamic study modules due, Thursdays post-lecture homeworks due. So there's the post-lecture homework assignment for chapter 1, and here's the adaptive follow-up. Those will be open. Remember that they'll be open on the, those will be open on the 15th of August. All this will be open right now. You can't see any of it. So I want to show you real quick. Here's what a dynamic study module looks like. So the dynamic study module comes up, and like I said, it's going to be a series of 8 questions. You read the question and then you choose an answer. Okay, sometimes it's a bit of reading that you need to do. You finish, you get all the way down to the bottom, and there's a question. Is mercury, Hg, an element, a compound, a homogeneous mixture, or a heterogeneous mixture? So you come over here. If you're sure of what it is, you can click it. If you click something once, then that's kind of saying I'm unsure. You can like hedge your bets and choose 2 things, but if you're sure, then make sure that you check the box, the circle twice, okay, so that you know. So then you submit. So now look, if you complete a question and it's correct, because this one I was sure and correct, if you were sure and correct, notice you get this dark green dot. The goal is to make all of these dark green, okay? So you go on to the next question. So the next question, you read through, which of the following is an example of a heterogeneous mixture? Okay, so you look through and you're like, I don't know, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, and then you submit, and it says you are unsure, but 1 was correct. Now notice here, green is not very dark. So it means that you didn't get this totally wrong, but you didn't get it totally right either. And the goal is going to keep asking you questions about this until you get all these little dashes dark green. It does save your work, which is nice. So if you don't do but just maybe half of them, you can come back and do more of them later. Okay, but each time you answer questions, I'm not going to read them, I'm just going to guess. So those ones totally incorrect. Once you answer 5, nope, that one's wrong. I didn't even read them. So like I said, guessing is not really the way to go. Oh, that one I guessed and I actually got a right answer. So notice that I got, this one was totally wrong, so it's red. This one I guessed, but got it right. And so there's the dark green that shows up. But once I finish answering 8, then it is going to come back and I'm going to have the review. Now we go to learn. Okay, so under Learn, once you finish answering questions, it is going to review the questions you missed, did not get 100% right. So that's this one. So it tells you the right one. And then down at the bottom, it gives you more information. This can be very helpful in, like, you may want to sometimes jot down notes about this, ways that you can pick it out, ways that you can tell things apart, how come you got that answer wrong. This can really be a good learning process. And each one's going to go through each one. Here's the question you asked. Here's what you wrote. And then here's why this answer is correct. So I find the dynamic study modules, if you know it, if you've like gone through the chapter and you are very familiar with the material, you will fly through these because you won't have very much learn part. But now, if there's things that you're not sure about, the learn part here is what's really going to help reinforce this topic, making sure that you're not going to get these questions wrong on an exam. So you do want to make sure you finish these, okay? And by the end of it, all of these will be dark green. So it's just going to, the next set of 8 questions are going to be similar. They will not be exactly these questions, but they will be similar to these questions. And the more you get them right, the greener the dashes get till you're completely finished. But now, if I quit here and come back again to work on this, it will keep what I've done so far. So you don't have to go back and start it from the beginning. Okay? So that is what a dynamic study module is. The second one. So the second one are the post-lecture homework assignments. And then notice that there's an adaptive follow-up. So the post-lecture homework assignment, here's the student view. I'll just look at a couple of them. So in this, it is going to tell you how many questions. It is going to tell you about how long you need to plan. I tried to edit these so that you were going to spend about an hour on each post-lecture homework assignment, right? So this is due the 31st, but I'm going to tell you when you finish chapter 1 material, before you go on to chapter 2, go ahead and do this one. You should definitely be finishing up chapter 1 actually before the 31st. I'm giving you a little bit of leeway each time, but you definitely want to go ahead and do the post-lecture assignment because it can show you things, again, that you don't know, things that you're not 100% sure about. Okay, and then you have that option for that adaptive follow-up assignment if you've missed something. So most of these, some of these are just pure question and answers. Some of these, you know, like some students really like the different types of assignments that they've got. Like this one is a drag and drop. So you drag the appropriate items to the respective bins. So you look at these and you're identifying, are these pure substances or mixtures? So if you feel like this is pure substances and mixtures, pure substances and mixtures, and you get done and you're like, okay, I think that's right. I've got it. You submit and it tells you incorrect. 5 attempts. So you have 5 attempts. So you've got plenty of time to try to figure this out. But it does tell you how many you sorted incorrectly, and it does give you some more background information about what matter is, pure substances versus mixtures. Okay? And if you get this and you're like, I'm still kind of stuck on this, there is actually this link right here in the review. This will take you to the e-text, specifically to the topic. So if you're going through and you are like, oh, good grief, continue, sorry. Hopefully you don't have to do that every single time. But look, it takes you right to pure substances and mixtures so that you can actually, it's giving me all this tutorial stuff trying to show me what I need to do. Stop. Okay, so here is ways that you can then go through, read back through this, make sure that you've got it, then go back and answer that question again. Then you can go back into the question set and make sure that you go, oh, okay, wait, pure substance. Okay, so now I know I got to move this one over here and this one over here, and then submit it again. Okay, so that's pretty much how all of these ones are based. You don't have to answer every single question before you can go on. Like if you want to go back to that one, you can do that. Okay, so another one, drag and drop. Okay, drag and drop, submit. If you get stuck, remember that you've always got that option of that review. When you get done, it will tell you like how far you are in terms of getting things done. Like if you get question 1 finished and not in question 4, it'll go back and tell you something about the grading. Okay, but thing to remember, this closes on the 31st and you don't get any credit if you don't get it done. So this is a 0. Okay, if you don't complete it, then that's going to be an issue. So I hope you find these things are extremely helpful. I really hope that it's a useful tool for learning. I have really tried to kind of pick questions that, and I have also like edited a lot of the dynamic study modules so that it's questions that are about the material that's in the chapter specifically. Okay.